Hello everybody, welcome to Cubcast.
Enjoy the show.
Welcome, Shawn Balva to our show, to Cubcast. We are so happy to have you today. How's your day going today?
It's going very well. Thank God. How's yours?
Good to hear. It's amazing today. Beautiful day today.
Yes.
And I'm excited to have you today, finally getting it together. It's been almost a year, more than a year, I think, since we first
Thank God.
got to know each other. Before you get to your story, before we get deep into it, why don't you tell us a little bit about yourself, about how you grew up?
Totally. So I was born in Englewood, New Jersey. At the age of 5 years old, I moved to Las Vegas, Nevada. Right. And a big part of my story, I know I'm kind of like jumping in, but a big part of my story is that my parents were divorced when we moved to Las Vegas. My dad moved out there. My mom moved out there. She brought me and my little brother out there. And at this like stage of my life, it was very like traumatizing. I had a lot of anxiety, a lot of anger from it. And this led me to eventually living a life of crime and drug addiction.
Yeah, so take us back to your childhood in Vegas. Who Shawn Balva was before this all happened?
For sure. So who I was before all this drugs and crime came into my life. At the age of 8 years old, I found my first love, I call it, which was football, right? So everything I did, slept, ate, breathed football from the age of 8 all the way up until 18. And I became like very good at it. It was my whole life, you know? So, I love football. That's who I was. I wasn't religious at all. There was no, even though I was born Jewish, there was no Judaism in my home. There was no God in my home. It was just eat, sleep, and breathe football. That's all it was for me.
And you followed football just as playing, or you also watched football? Were you like a fan at all?
So football was, when I say it was everything, I would watch it. That's how I really started with football. I started watching Tom Brady and the Patriots. That became my favorite team. And then I started playing. But also I was playing, a lot of kids play video games. They play war video games or all types of video games. The video games I played was football. Everything was football for me at that stage.
So having, football in your life and this is like your purpose, and there was meaning in playing football. But what happened when that was taken away from you? Why don't you tell us a little about how this football was purpose to you, but also when it was taken away, how'd that feel?
Yeah, so you don't really know what you have until it's gone. I loved football so much. Like I said, that was my first love. But my drug addiction took over to the point where at the age of 17 years old, my senior year, I'm playing quarterback. I'm the starting quarterback, the star of the team. But my drug addiction took over. I failed a drug test and they kicked me off the football team just like that. And that was the most devastating thing that probably ever happened in my life, even worse than going to prison later on, because, it's something that you, like I said, like you love it so much. And when you love something so much and it goes away, you could try everything you can to heal from it, but it's painful. I'm 30 years old. This happened to me 12 years ago. I still have residual trauma, I guess you could say, or heartbreak from not pursuing my football dream.
And I hear you weren't just playing football in high school and you were good, but you were actually good. You were sitting behind other older football players. You weren't just playing football. Tell us how you were good. You weren't just any time football player. You could have been in the NFL. You had something going for you.
Yeah, totally. So there was this one person, his name is Randall Cunningham. He's a big part of my story. He was an ex-NFL quarterback in the 80s and the 90s. He played on the Eagles, the Vikings, and I think another team. And when I was 12 or 13 years old, this ex-NFL quarterback comes up to me and is like, Shawn, you have an opportunity to, really play like in the pros or something. You have a chance to take football to the next level. So I would train with him. And I wasn't so talented. Like I did have talent, but I worked very hard. I realized talent's not enough. So I worked very hard to get good skills and learn the game, understand how to win, So if it wasn't for the drugs, I believe I would have went pro.
Wow. So that's probably kind of when you lost it all, like what was going through your mind?
Yeah.
That was probably very
Uh,
scary, like losing it all just by doing something stupid that didn't even mean anything.
yeah, so it was heartbreaking. It was devastating. The thing about it is too is that, it's so important that like there's a lot of coaches today that will never kick a player off the team, right? Because there was actually an incident that happened in college. There's one coach, I think it's Nick Saban. He used to coach for Alabama. He kicked a player off, or it could have been a different coach. But anyway, that coach kicked a player off the team, and like a couple years later, the player committed suicide or something like that.
Oh.
So,
Yeah, I was thinking that, like, why throw a kid out just from doing something stupid? He could have learned from his
yeah,
mistake or even send him to get help.
yeah, exactly. So, yeah, I mean, I was completely ostracized. I was like expelled, like, what's the word? Exiled. I was exiled after being
Just by
kicked off
doing
my
it
football team.
being caught one time on
Well, that
drugs.
was my second time getting in
Oh, it
trouble.
was your second time.
It was my second time getting in trouble, but I don't believe if I was a coach or a parent or a rabbi or a teacher, especially when it's a teenager, I would give them as many chances as possible and I would give them as much love as possible. I don't believe in throwing kids out on the street. I don't believe in that.
Yeah, I don't believe that either.
Once
And
you
I
hit a
think,
certain age, like you're an adult. Yeah.
yeah, that's something I don't believe in either. I don't think someone should just throw
Yeah.
someone off, but obviously it was for a bigger and better reason. But
Totally.
why don't you just tell us about how, if someone was to tell you something at that moment where you're in that situation, what would that be? If you would go and tell somebody, if you needed some sort of inspiration or push at that moment, what would that
Yeah.
be?
Well, I'm going to tell you straight up that there were so many people who tried to inspire me at that time. Coaches, rabbis, my mom, everybody tried to tell me to do the right thing. I don't want to make it seem like people weren't trying to help me. If I could say anything at that point to my younger self, and I would say this to any kid who's struggling, listen, if you decide to go down this path that you're going, just understand that it's going to be bad. It's not going to end well for you. But, if you do decide to go down that path, there's always a way out. You could always come back. There's always second chances, but just understand like this door that you're opening, you're going to be upset that you opened it. I would be just completely truthful with myself at that point. Like you're going down a horrible path and nothing good comes from that.
Yeah, so I guess telling yourself that like there is a chance.
Yeah,
Don't just give it up here. I feel like maybe you could have gone to a different school or something. No, you think your dreams were totally shattered? Like it was gone?
Yeah, so that's the thing is like I could have if I would have stayed playing, I would have went to a good college, right? I would have went to a good college. But once I got kicked off the football team, that put like a big blemish on me, right? So any college who would look at me be like, okay, this kid got kicked off his football team. Why would we want him? But I could have went to a lower level college, worked my way up to the bigger college. That's what I would have told myself too. Like, just because you messed up, you took 10 steps back, it's okay. But you have to be real with yourself and you have to work with what you got. So I didn't want to work with what I had at that time. I was too heartbroken and I was too into the drugs. I was like a serious drug addict and criminal. But I was just too drugged out. I was a thief, criminal,
In those dark times and you were involved in crime and drugs and all these things, what would you feel like you were searching beneath yourself? Did you feel like you had something that you were searching for, or you just completely confused and lost?
Completely confusion and lost.
So you were completely gone.
I'm out.
Like
yeah,
you were shattered and then you just let
Yeah.
the drugs take over you.
Yeah, I wasn't searching for anything at that point.
The drugs were probably numbing your mind from what happened.
Yeah, so the thing is with drugs, the problem is with drugs actually help you with your issue, right? So if you have an issue, like you feel lost or confused or sad or depressed, it works. It does the job. It makes you feel better. But the problem is that it doesn't fix the issue. And then the issue comes back 10 times worse, right? So that's why you have to just makes it worse. But like the truth is that drugs, it has a purpose, but what's behind it is evil.
Yeah, so it's a long-term that's going to kill you. The short term is great, feels great, and then you're just in this circle in this
Exactly.
a place. But now that you were on
it's
drugs,
the solution.
now what
It's the
happened
solution, yeah.
later on? You ended up getting arrested, and what was going through your mind when then you got arrested? What your future look like to you?
When I got arrested, actually, the funny thing is my future, I couldn't see my future, but I felt that it was a positive future. Like the second I got arrested, I felt like I was freed, as crazy as that sounds. The handcuffs, when it was put on me, I felt like I was freed because the life that I was living, freedom in the world, drugs, crime, anxiety, not being where I want to be, that it's a prison. Prison, let me tell, this is what prison taught me, right? When I went to prison showed me that I was already in prison before being in prison, if that makes sense.
Because you were on drugs and you were in this wrong path and you just wanted to get out of there.
Yeah.
You were stuck in this circle, in this place, and then once you're arrested,
didn't know what to do.
Said, okay, this is over now. We got to face a different thing now.
That's it, 1000%.
When you're in jail now, you're arrested and you're sitting there and you're like, wow, I just robbed seven convenience stores. Tell us a little bit about what happened. I guess the timeline of what happened exactly.
Yeah, so I'm laughing now because it's like 10 years later, so I can laugh a little bit about it. At the time, it wasn't funny.
Long time.
But yeah, it's a long time ago. Yeah, so yeah, I was on 4 or 5 different drugs at that point when I was 20 years old. And I was already, for the past 2-3 years, I was a chronic thief, right? So like every single day, I was stealing phones, money, wallets, like everything, right? Every single day. And then we learned in Judaism too, like one thing leads to the next, right? Avera, gerer, avera. And so got to a point where I was also selling drugs. So I had a weapon on me. I had a gun on me to protect myself. Having a gun on me turned into doing burglaries and robberies. And August 25th, 2015, I went into 7 convenience stores and I also robbed a person on the street. I went on like a spree robbing people at gunpoint as a 20-year-old junkie drug addict, which was nuts when you think about it. But then they arrested me. They put me in the back of a cop car, sent me off to jail. I spent 2.5 weeks in jail. Scariest, craziest experience ever. I don't recommend it to anybody. And then they let me out on bail. I did 9 months on bail. Then I went back in. They gave me 8 years in prison.
Wow. And this is in 2015.
This is, August 25th, 2015. Yeah.
Oh, wow.
We're coming up on the 10-year.
And this is how many years
anniversary.
after high school?
It's crazy. So this is 2 years out of high school.
Wow. And that's very scary to end up in a jail when you were just robbing stores. What's going through your mind when you're robbing each store? You're like, you know you're gonna end up in jail, or you're just doing it because going through a lot. I don't know. I can't even imagine it.
Well, I mean, if you've never been to jail before, you feel like invincibility. Like you don't believe it's gonna happen to you, right? So I didn't think I was going to jail. I knew that I was doing something that can get me in trouble, but the drugs were just, I was on it bad, you know? So I just didn't care. One of the drugs I was on is Xanax, and Xanax is like, you just don't care about anything, you know, at that point.
So prison is like an unimaginable place. Like most of us, as you said, don't understand what it's like because we weren't there. But what's something that you're sitting in jail? What's something that you learned that made you a stronger person?
A lot of things. I learned that you don't need a lot to survive or to thrive in life. You know, we're so caught up in technology, lavish living, luxury living. You don't need much to survive. I was starved of everything possible. Everything. I didn't have a phone. I didn't have the foods that I needed. I didn't have the nutrients I needed. I couldn't try to get married. You know, I was starved of everything, but I realized you don't need those things to survive. And then when you get to that point where you're living simple, but you realize like when you're physically constrained like that, your other senses, your soul senses are heightened, right? It's like if a person's blind, that their other senses are heightened. So when you're constrained, your soul is heightened. So yeah, that's what happened. That's what I learned over there. I learned a lot of things.
Yeah. So for me, I recently maybe over the last 2 years, I went through so many injuries and being in the hospital, and I've kind of felt like the way you're saying it, everything is simple. In the hospital, everything was taken away in a sense, and I just had to be in my own place, in my own mind. So that's something that I feel like I understand, that being simple and being in your own place, you had to learn on your own, I guess, because you were just in this simple life.
Totally. Yeah. When your back is against the wall, and you're forced to make it happen, to find that inside, the will to survive, you find it.
Yeah, I guess it's just natural sometimes where you're just so stuck and
Totally.
you need to get yourself into a better place. So at one point, did you start asking yourself deeper questions and about meaning and faith, and what sparked you to become that better person, to come to a place where you said, okay, I'm in a very deep place. I need to get myself out of here. Where did you start doing that?
Well, I don't really know where it came from, but I just had a thought, like when I first got to prison, I don't want to live like this negative, criminal, evil life anymore. I just had a thought, like, I want to change my life. I want to be different when I get out of prison 6, 7, 8 years later. And, when I really sat down and thought about that, that for me was Judaism and connecting with Hashem. But I can't explain where that came from.
So but what gave you that inner strength to say, okay, I want to become a better person rather than just stay on drugs? And I remember you saying that you were in drugs in jail. So what got you to say, okay, this is going to change. I'm going to do something differently now?
Yeah. So I saw my surroundings in jail. So basically in prison or jail, you're surrounded by all these criminals and drug addicts and gang members, right? So that's not my true essence, right? To be like a person like that. But that's all I was surrounded by, right? So when I realized that those are my surroundings, I'm like, this is ugly. This is disgusting. This is not me. So I was like, I need to get out of this. Look where I put myself. I need to get out of this. So yeah, eventually, I just said to myself, I need to change.
You were just sitting there and getting into your head and understanding, because you just had time to just think all day. So I guess over time you had to think either one way or the other way. It's either one way, and you can't really go in the middle.
That's what somebody told me. There was some Muslim black dude. He told me this 9 years ago. He had tattoos all over his face. Comes up to me, he's like, listen, in prison, you could get better or you could get worse. There's no in between. And the choice is up to you. You want to get better, you want to get worse. You want to study, you want to work out, or you want to do drugs and crazy stuff in jail. It's up to you.
Oh, so you got to choose which way, because you were a younger guy. I'm sure you were around older people that maybe gave you some advice to get it together because you were young.
Yeah. So some of the best advice that I've ever heard was from people in prison. There's so much wisdom over there. There's so much wisdom in people who I'll listen all day to a person who made mistakes over and over than a person who just had it easy their whole life. You know what I mean? So I had so much wisdom over there that people shared with me.
It's interesting you're saying that, because I just visited a jail recently on Hanukkah.
Okay.
There's some sort of one of my relatives, he's close with Rikers Island. And I was able to go to Rikers Island and try to celebrate and enjoy with the Jewish people that were there. They weren't just only Jews, but there were all different types of people there. And I was able to sit with people, and you just see on their faces where they want to do better. They want to you just see the guilt on their face. They feel like they messed up, but they want to do good inside their heart. Of course there were some scary looking people, but at the end of the day, all of them just had this. I just saw it inside of them. It just felt like a nasty place, but also it felt like everyone was real and they wanted to do good. They wanted to start over and be better people.
Totally.
So I get where that comes from.
They all want to get better. Even the scary looking guys, everybody in there deep down. I never met a person over there who was completely 100% evil. Everybody wants to get better, but environmental things that happened to them when they grew up, just a lot of these guys are far gone. But I never met anybody who's 100% gone.
And now you were in jail, and now you discovered Judaism, and now you had to become this, I don't know how that started. You weren't so religious and you didn't really understand the fact of it. But what now you have Judaism inside of you, what got you to not be afraid and continue doing that and continue practicing and enjoying it and loving it?
Well, like when I first wanted to connect with Hashem, I just wanted to connect with my roots. Like I knew that I was a Jew. I just felt that inside that that's what I had to do. And in the beginning of my Jewish journey, I loved it. I had a lot of fun learning. I pushed myself to learn. But after a while, just like everything else that you, in the beginning, there's like a honeymoon phase, right? Like you find something, you're a Baal Tshuva and you're like, wow, this is amazing. I love this so much. And then the real challenge comes of being able to keep this up for good, for life. And just like a marriage or just like anything else, a job, whatever it is. So yeah, just I faced a lot of challenges in that sense, but I know it's the truth. I know Judaism is the truth, and so every day I'm constantly trying to grow.
I remember hearing that the Aleph Institute got you going, and actually looking back to Aleph Institute, the person that started it actually passed away recently. What's the Aleph
Yes.
Institute to you? What does it mean to you? How does that feel?
The Aleph Institute is like a blanket, right? It's like a warm blanket. They're amazing. When you're in prison, it's scary, it's dark, it's lonely. You feel like nobody's there for you. But the Aleph Institute, they're that blanket. They make you feel like everything is safe, everything is good, everything is warm, and they help you. They really help you with whatever they can help you with. There's certain things that they can't do. Whatever they can do, they're there for you. Whether it's writing letters, sending visitors, helping get your kosher food, your tefillin, whatever you need, medical issues, anything you need, they're on it.
So it's probably similar to the Rikers Island. It's probably a different organization that does it, but it's probably the person that, brings Hanukkah there, lights the candles and does all those things. I'm sure that's part of it, like feeling connected and wanting to,
Yeah, Aleph is probably, so Aleph does probably a majority of the Jewish stuff in prisons. They bring in a lot of, when I was in New York prison, they had these young kids like 18, 19 years old would stay in an RV overnight for Yom Kippur or Rosh Hashanah to spend the holiday with us.
Wow.
Shout out to Satmar too. Satmar is a big help. The Satmar community helps out the Jewish prisoners.
That's beautiful. It's such a beautiful thing because they know that, they can just give up in jail and just let it out and just, give up on and be on drugs. But I guess it's something that they were like, someone who kept you going, kept you with it.
Totally. Yeah. I had a lot of people who kept me going over there for sure.
You once had NFL dreams. You had, dreams as a kid. You had something to look forward to in high school and then you lost it all. Now you found something else through this time and you found like another purpose. But what gave you that new purpose instead of having football and having your dreams taken away, but now you had to look forward to something else?
Well, I realized that football wasn't my purpose. Football wasn't really my purpose anymore. So football is just a fleeting thing. Like you play it for 10, 20 years and you're done. It's over with. You leave no imprint playing football. So my purpose now today, the only reason I get up in the morning is because I want to help people and I want to give. It has nothing to do with I get up because I'm a Jew or I get up because I'm a man. It has nothing to do with that. My newfound purpose is that I want to give to people because my whole life I was taking. I was a taker. I was a thief, a robber, burglar. So, now I just want to give, whether it's speaking or money or, life lessons, advice. That's what I'm trying to do is to give.
I guess through challenges and very deep challenges, I guess that kind of pushes you to want to put your whole life to that. Like for me, it's going through all these physical challenges and, breaking one leg after the other. I had to go and say, okay, I want to go take the person I was before and use it to other people that have it, So I guess some sort of similarity there.
Exactly. Yeah. Very similar. It's the same thing. My grandmother, I'll give you an example. She was a therapist, a hypnotherapist, and she had a very sad life. She had a lot of traumatic events that happened. So she became a therapist to help people. So like we get too caught up in what we have going on, right? When it's actually it's hard to see it sometimes, but what we go through it's an opportunity. I don't want to necessarily say a blessing, but it's an opportunity to help a lot of people. You know what I mean? So that's what I'm trying to do now is use all this craziness that I went through. I'm trying to use it to, to put good into the world.
To bring real purpose, to real meaning into your life, I guess. If you go back again the same way you did it, would you go the same way you did it, or you would do it differently? How would you, do you think it was meant to be where you ended up, or?
I don't know. I don't know if that, I don't know. Just because people say things like they say, oh, if it's meant to be, it's meant to be. I don't know. Maybe it's not.
Exactly,
Maybe I was meant to not be a drug addict and a criminal and go to jail, but it's hard to look back and say, because I don't have any regrets. I don't know if I would I would definitely do things differently for sure. I wouldn't have went to that party that first time and drank and, did this and that. And I have so many things I would have done differently.
While you're young, enjoy it, enjoy as you have it and take advantage.
Yeah. Yeah. YOLO. But, it's like, I don't know. I just I don't have any regrets because I don't want to, I don't put myself through that pain of regret. But yeah, I would, if they told me right now, like you could rewrite this whole thing, I'm like, okay, where's the pen at? Let's rewrite this,
Yeah.
Let's start over.
Yeah, but I guess this is what you're given. You gotta go with it.
I'm not going to sit here like everything's
it.
meant to be. Yeah. Yeah, exactly. So now I have opportunity. Now I can, yeah, totally. But yeah, if you know anybody who can rewrite the story, let me know.
For me, when let's say I broke my leg and I did something wrong, like I went back and I said, "Oh, I could have done this, I could have done that," but that actually makes you sick. And like I just said, it doesn't matter about what happened in the past. It's where you are now and what you can do to change it. That's it.
Yeah, you got to say, forget about it.
Yeah, exactly.
It's easier said than done. Like you shouldn't just like push emotions away. But sometimes, when the emotions are trying to take control of you, you got to be like, listen, I'm not falling for this right now. I got stuff to do. I got to move forward.
So for someone actually going through something maybe similar, who's going through right now, who feels stuck, who feels ashamed, who feels lost or confused, or is somewhere that they don't know where to go and they don't know move forward, they lost something just like you maybe, or what would you tell them to keep going and keep going forward from what they lost or what they want, where they're confused and they're stuck? They're like anybody else who has a challenge right now and they're going through it. They won't just need someone to tell them something, or what kind of advice would you give them?
I would just tell them that there's no like magic secret to getting out of that place that they're in right now. Life is painful. There's a lot of grieving. The problem is in life, like we come on this earth to, at some point, we're all going to die. Like, as bad as that sounds, right? Like, we come on this earth and we live our lives and then we go on to wherever we go next. So life is just painful in general, right? So it's very important for us to be realistic and understand that every single person has a challenge in life. Every single person, rich people, broke, prison, free, everybody's going through something. So you're never alone because everybody's going through something. My thing is to use whatever situation you're in as a positive, right? Whatever it is that you're dealing with, take that and put it into a positive, because that's what Hashem gave you. If you put me in prison, it was negative, right? But I took it and I turned it into a positive. So
I like that.
you got to figure out what that is that you're going through. And also be healthy too. Like take care of your health, food, physically, mentally. If you take care of yourself, your body and your mind, you're going to feel much better.
Well, it's important. Good advice you gave. That's something that it's interesting. I just opened up the Perkava of Mishnah saying that we're a little putrid drop to going back into the ground. And I feel like that's something you said. It's like let's take what we have because we're here just for a little time, and just take what you have because you're just back in the ground and you come and go, make a difference.
Let me tell you something. We're tricked. We're tricked right now. The whole world is being tricked. They turn life into a mental health crisis, right? Just being a human being is a mental health crisis. right? But
Yeah.
we need to like simplify it. We're making this too complicated. We come here, we're that putrid drop, and we're gonna go on the ground one day. It's that simple. So
Yeah.
we have to
We get
wake up in the
distracted on
morning and like
on all the worldly pleasures.
yeah, there's nothing. Yeah, it's nonsense. It's all nonsense. It's all nonsense. But there's so much that we could do to add to this world, to give to this world.
So I think that's probably why, like, sometimes jail could be the best thing that ever happened to people because you're sitting there simple, you don't have any distraction, and you just have to think through it and get through it, and that's what you did. And I'm sure it's
Yeah, no bills, nothing. You don't have to worry about anything. You got a bed, you
yeah,
got your bills paid, or you don't have to pay bills. You have food. You don't have to worry about drama and this and that. I mean, obviously, you don't want to be there, but yeah, it's very simplified over there.
yeah. That's something I felt. I think that's the same understanding. When I was sitting there in the hospital, I was thinking,
Yeah.
like, wow, this is so simple. When I went back home, things
Yeah.
were just like, wow, there's so much going on in this
Yeah,
world.
yeah. When I do my speaking engagements and I'm talking about jail, once in a while there's like a person is like, oh, it doesn't sound too bad, like it's like a vacation. So we
Yeah.
got to simplify things. Sometimes you got to
It
lock
could be a
yourself in
very
your room,
scary
be in your room.
vacation, but yeah.
I always called it an uncomfortable vacation. That's what it was to me. That's what I would call it.
And sometimes comfort is not a good thing. Sometimes people are in comfort and then just like in their place. And, sometimes you need to be uncomfortable to be able to find your ways in life. And that's, I guess, something that maybe guided you and helped you.
1,000%. It was so uncomfortable that I had to do something about it.
Yeah. And what keeps you going now? Like now you're back out of jail and things were now not simple and you had to figure out life again and become yourself. And even maybe today, how do you still push yourself to become, that person that wants to inspire people and help change the world rather than just get distracted?
It's very hard. Like, I'm not going to say like, if anybody tells you that they overcame something
Yeah.
and now life is all like rainbow and sunshine, they're lying. It's a straight liar. Like, it's a liar. There's a bunch of those people. I know so many of them. I'm like, you're lying
fancy
right now.
cars,
But
nice houses, and vacationing. I guess that's a huge, nice picture.
yeah, it's a
around it.
lie. But that's the thing. People need to they need to do this and that to show I don't know what they're doing. But I struggle every day still. I've been struggling every single day for my whole life, but that's normal. As crazy as it sounds, that's normal for a human being who's trying to do the right thing and who's trying to be real and who's trying to inspire and help people. That's what keeps me going, is understanding that I have something that I can give over to people and I can help them, when I speak. And then also like, V'zat Hashem, one day I want to have a family, I want to raise kids. That's something that keeps me going too, knowing that one day I'll have a child, V'zat Hashem, and working out. Working out is like 50% of what keeps me going. Like, I'm not all right if I don't work out. It's like
that's same thing with me. I'll be honest. If I don't have a workout to start my day, I don't know. It's just not the same. Like I remember, like maybe my trainer wasn't around for a certain amount of time. I was stuck. I needed to be moving every morning and moving something in my body to be able to get up again, because that's something that really pushes me.
Yeah. If I don't work out, I might crash out. I might do something. Like, honestly, like I need to work out. I really need to work out 6 days a week.
It makes us sane. It makes us
Not
sane.
Shabbos.
And it keeps our mental health together.
Totally. It's my medicine. It's really my medicine. Yeah.
And I guess since you said Shabbat, you said not Shabbat, but like I remember now you said things were simple, but I guess Shabbat kind of like each week I kind of throw everything away and kind of keep it in one place. So that's probably very helpful to, keep it simple.
Totally. Shabbat.
Yeah.
Yeah. Shabbat is, it's amazing. I mean, that's why we love it. That's why it's a gift. That's why they call it a gift, because, you could shut everything and everyone off, and it's just you and Hashem time. So you could say that I did Shabbat for 6 years.
Oh, wow. That's a good point.
In prison.
Oh, wow.
Were you asking about Rabashkin? Something about him?
Yeah, I was asking about Rabashkin. It was a big inspiration that I remember you speaking about on a podcast and talking about it on your live, maybe.
Yeah.
I don't know what it was, but that was, going back to when you spoke about how he got out and how you met him and what was, tell me about how that, gave you inspiration, I guess, through the process of being in jail.
Yeah, I mean, Rabashkin, he's on a different level. This is a very holy person. This is a chosen person. When I first met him, he had this aura of light around him, and it was magnetic. Just his personality, his vibe, the way he believed in Hashem. Like, he's a perfect example. He's a living emunah, living emunah. He embodies what that means. His emunah is so strong that he manifested, I guess, in a sense, getting out of prison early. And he's something that I think everybody should strive to be, because you can be that. I'm sure he went through his challenges. We don't always see the challenges that the big people went through, but I'm sure he went through his own, and he became Rabashkin, and, everybody knows him. Most people know him, and he's amazing. Like, I don't know. I can't even speechless when I talk about him. He's on another level. He's not from here. He's not from Earth.
What's one thing that you can say to someone that doesn't know who he is, and maybe that can inspire them to have that emunah like he did?
If you don't know who he is, you better find out. You better look him up right now. Because I go around too, because Rabashkin's like 50% of my story. So in the beginning of the speech, I'm like, you guys know what Rabashkin is? And people are like, I don't know who. I'm like, how do you not know who Rabashkin is? That's like, he's like the Michael Jordan of Judaism, How do you not know who that is? But I'm just joking. But seriously, you should look up his story. He has a really cool book that he put out. And he's just
it's funny you're saying this.
He's real. He's the real deal. I
wanted to have a podcast with you for a while, and it was like hard to really get you on. Because I don't know, it was hard with the timing you live in Vegas, I'm across the country, and I wanted to get you on, and I met somebody. I think I went to a wedding, and I was sitting next to Rabashkin's nephew, and I was asking him to connect me and all that. So it was just funny,
you should get Rabashkin on.
Yeah, I should.
Maybe I can help you.
Yeah, that would be great.
Maybe I could try to get word to him, and I'll get somebody to get word to him, and that would be really good. Let me see if I can make that happen, because he's a waterfall of wisdom. He's amazing.
Looking back, it's just, me reaching out to you was just, you were on this Instagram live, and I just reached out to you, and then you got on the phone with me within 10 minutes. So really, anybody could do anything. All of us can just reach out to people, DM people. It's easier than we think it is. You might have a lot of followers. Some people might have, but you just send DMs to a bunch of people, and it works sometimes.
Yeah, I do it too. If I'm trying to make a speaking engagement happen, I'm like a leech, I'm like, I'm going to be on you until you can't take no for an answer. Obviously nothing like bad, but you gotta keep pushing, and because you believe that this is what's meant to be, and this is what you want to do,
Exactly. I guess just in life, anybody has anything they want to go to, and they have a mission getting somewhere, just keep pushing, keep going. It's going to work out.
Yeah, don't take no for an answer. Yeah, don't take no for an answer. Okay, this door is closed for me. Okay, so we got to open a different one. It's the key doesn't fit. Let's make a key. Like we can't stop. You can't stop. You stop and you're finished. That's it.
And then in this podcast, we're just trying to inspire people to, people that are struggling, or anybody that has a challenge. There's always a way to get through it. There's always a way, and there's always a positive way through it. And we're just trying to bring those people, strength through whatever they're going through. So if you guys just keep on following Shawn Balva's story, read his book. It's called Conviction. Amazing book. I haven't read it myself, but I know so much about your story. I should really get into reading it, but I think it's an amazing story that you have.
Yeah.
We're so happy that you came here to tell us about your story and giving us all this input. Whoever's out there struggling, just listen to his story. It's worth listening to, and just keep on listening to other people's story, listen to other people, what they've been through. And if you go through anyone else's struggle, that could really give you strength in your own life. So thank you so much for joining us today. I appreciate that you made time to join us on the podcast on Cubcast. Thank you so much.
Thank you.
Only the best. Thank you so much for joining us. Only the best in your future.
Amen. All the same for you.